Hey guys, what's up? I'm Justin Allgaier. This is the Off Axis podcast. My guests today, Craig and Skip. Hey guys.
Thanks for
coming to the studio.
Man. That was cool of you to.
It actually does look like my studio, considering that I have,
you do have
my helmets are framed up right here.
A couple of helmets, yeah.
You have built this business. He has been your most consistent client for the last 10 years.
Other than you didn't really help out a whole lot.
I don't have any money.
That's what I'm saying. Like
he actually needs helmets.
Justin Allgaier single-handedly built Off Axis.
I don't think that I would say.
I feel like it.
Yeah.
I feel like it.
I will say though that I do remember Greg painting helmets before he came to Charlotte.
Yeah.
To Mooresville.
I do. Yeah. 417 Customs.
417 Customs. Yep.
Skip had one of those. You did not.
I did actually.
No.
Yeah.
Not a 417. No.
Yeah, I did.
No. Because Ashley Allgaier got a helmet painted before you.
So my wife has a 417 Customs.
No, it was Off Axis.
No, it says 417 Customs.
No, it does not.
And I actually have one of the old logos that has like the loopy style Off
yeah.
Axis.
So that's what Ashley has.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I'll
because
go look.
hers was the first. I painted half of it on the way here. And
I do remember
finished
that.
it
But you
here in
came and hung
Charlotte.
out with us at the racetrack.
Yeah. I hung out with you plenty of times.
So Rob Burris,
yeah,
good friend of both of ours.
He actually told your mom that I was Joel Steen's kid when I first came to this track, and your mom believed it for a long time.
He also tells everybody that he's married to Martina McBride.
Yeah.
So I mean,
he's a funny guy.
I'm pretty sure he signs in as a different name too, like not at the NASCAR track, but like I think he like signs paperwork and stuff like Elvis Presley and.
That's funny.
Why not?
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
How many helmets do you think you've had painted here? How many Allgaier helmets
Well,
have you painted?
I
Probably 5 or more for 7 years.
I tend to like helmets.
So 35.
I bet it's more than that.
I bet it is too.
I bet it's more than that.
Because this one here we didn't even use.
No, we weren't allowed to use this one.
That's the one with the light in the side of it.
Yeah, it's got the light. It's in the top
Yes.
too. But there was wires and.
Yeah, it's sticking out of the bottom.
It was before its time, you know.
It was. They didn't have Lumalor yet,
It was
so
too
like.
futuristic.
So like nowadays you can paint. You can electrostatically charge paint, and you can actually paint sections. This actually has like a. So the piece that's on the side is Lexan.
Yeah.
And it was all underneath. It was really cool, and
You
it
made it
definitely
for the
was.
Bristol Night Race.
Bristol Night Race, yeah.
And they wouldn't let you run it.
We were even gonna disconnect the battery, like do the whole deal, and they said no, not gonna work.
Yeah,
so.
they originally said we just had an on-off switch. I said I can make that happen, and then they said, no, actually no, we're not gonna do it.
Everybody's complaining about weight of their helmets, and you're putting batteries in them.
Yeah,
That one actually has like light bars too in it, like these LED strips in it.
Do you feel like with the way your headrests and everything are set up, do you feel like your helmet weight makes a huge difference?
So I just had this discussion. So
It's a hot topic right now.
it is a hot topic.
Ugh.
Okay, so here's my balance, and
Gonna put Off Axis out of business.
But this is where I stand with all this. Okay, so I don't disagree that lighter is better. When you look at the fundamentals of crash testing and the inertia of the head and like where everything goes, yes, a lighter helmet is better. However, if you take a lightweight helmet, the structure of that helmet is way less to me. Like I want, like
Yeah.
you wouldn't take a I don't know, you wouldn't take a foam I don't know. You wouldn't take a piece of foam and try to bust down a door. You're gonna take a giant log or like something big and heavy, right? Same thing with a helmet, right? Like my soft head is inside of there. I mean, I got a pretty
you're
hard
way
head.
more apt to bounce your head off the headrest.
Correct.
Which they're tight anyway, but people don't understand how hard they are. Like you hit your head off you hit it right side hard. That's gonna hurt more if you hit frontal.
So my big deal is always the left side, like because it's like I
Yeah,
mean
'cause
like
it's
when you
thinner.
feel the foam in our seats, it's like this. Like I mean, it feels like
Yeah,
this glass. Like
yeah.
it's hard. So
Yeah,
when
it's
you
not,
take a
it's
left
not like
side,
a memory foam mattress. like
no, I
people
wish it
think,
was.
yeah.
I wish it was, but it's not. So when you take a left side shot and you like slap left side first and your head, because there is a little bit of movement to the left. There's not to the right, but to the left. When you hit your head on the left, you're like, oh my gosh, I might have just that might be it, right? Like that
Concussion.
might have just rung the bell for the last time.
Yeah,
And then you walk out and you're like, oh, okay, I'm good.
daylight.
So if people
no
talk
problem.
about safety with your helmet going forward, really, your Hans device is gonna stop it anyway.
Well, I think the biggest concurring theme is that everybody's worried that if something were to ever happen to the head neck restraint, if your seatbelts come loose, if you have something properly installed, right, wrong, or indifferent, right? That's always somebody's fear, is that something is not going to work. But in that case, to me, a lightweight helmet versus a heavyweight helmet's not going to make a difference. That being said, I'm not a big fan of adding a bunch of weight to a helmet, which this helmet was a little bit unique, so I can't really say much. But I grew up racing open wheel cars, midgets. I mean, you've obviously been in the TQ stuff a lot, right? And at a high grip racetrack, you know the effects of how much your neck takes a
I
strain.
added a half-inch piece of foam to my headrest this year.
Which I don't blame you, right?
I
It's
got
worth
tore
it.
up about it.
But on the flip side of it, you growing up and having that and having your neck be stronger, football players strengthen their necks all the time because they know they're going to get an impact. For us, I feel like one of the things that we do is we make it easier. We don't strengthen our neck enough. Then we get an impact, and now your neck has no muscles to really kind of go against it. So I'm a firm believer that I think a normal weight helmet is fantastic. I'm not into the whole super lightweight carbon.
You don't want us to add 2/10 for for paint?
You add 2/10.
£2.
Yeah.
But here, I mean, here,
2/10.
okay, the other, I guess probably 2. I'm a little bit cheap in the fact that I don't want to spend the absorbent amount of monies that some of these super lightweight helmets cost. So.
I
Yeah.
don't love the molded in. I'd never loved the molded in ones when they were like the molded in air channels. Like I like the channels now where I think they even look better when you just put a clear plastic one on.
Yeah,
Hey,
well, it's a new
what's
rule
my-
now, so we
what's
can't
my
do
deal?
that anymore.
What's my deal to you before they were even a mandatory deal?
What was your?
Don't paint them.
Oh, the air channels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pain too. Like if you do that, and they end up like breaking or something. 'Cause
They're
you-
gonna
you say-
break.
Yeah, then you have to cut the thing off. You have to try to match the paint. It ends up costing a lot more money to try to do that. But
For the record, this helmet right here is pretty awesome because my daughter was born and they made that helmet for my daughter.
it's
got
got
her
her
name
footprints
and
on the
footprints
back.
on the back of
The
it. so-
unicorn one
That's not
this
the
year.
unicorn.
No, but the unicorn one was pretty sweet.
You love the
It was
unicorn.
really sweet, but the horn was
Well, what'd you think when you saw that with the horn on it?
I was a little bit taken aback by the horn. That
Yes,
was
so was I.
Yeah.
When I saw it here, and I was like,
Okay, well,
hmm.
if you don't know, your daughter, 5
Yeah.
years old, no,
Yeah.
correct,
correct.
does a helmet for you every year in our shop. You have no idea what it's gonna look like.
She's excited.
She comes
She wants
in,
to paint 2 this year, by the way, too.
That's
Just so you
fine.
know, she's
That's-
like, I got 2 helmets and I can't.
So she comes in and paints for us for like 3 weeks, and she does it. She did it all this year. She airbrushed it.
she gets helmets done twice as fast as you guys do.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
extremely fast. So when we unveil it at Junior Motorsports every year,
Yeah, we do a playoff kickoff luncheon type deal.
and then you have no idea what it's gonna look like. So it's in this bag. All these cameras, everyone in the shop's looking at you, and then this you obviously pulled out.
Well, so the best part is she brings the bag out, and obviously I can tell that there's something sticking out of the front of the bag.
A
right?
giant unicorn horn.
And she says, "Daddy, I got you a unicorn, or I painted you a unicorn," without even taking it out of the bag. So I'm like, "All right, well I know what it is." Little did I expect it to look the way that it did. It did look great though. I was actually really
You
impressed.
get Dad of the Year for wearing a helmet like that for all of the playoffs.
The thing is, I think now having a kid, I don't know. It just
You don't even care.
like yeah. I was more enthralled by the fact that she painted it, and obviously Cole did the video, and like I saw the intensity in her like being able to film that.
She was
like,
pumped.
Like in the film, I could see like there was one point where she was so dead set like painting that you could have probably the walls of the building could have fallen down and she wouldn't have even known it. Like
Yeah.
she was into it. Obviously, my background, I love art and I've always designed helmets.
Yeah.
Actually on your desk in there's a catalog of helmets that I've drawn.
How long have you been designing your own helmet? And who painted them before Greg?
Well, so I've had a couple different painters.
You don't need to name names. We don't need to name names on the Off Axis podcast. You
Oh,
know?
what are you scared? You're in Burbridge.
No, but I will say this: I didn't really design my own stuff until I got a little bit older. Now I've painted a few of my own, which it goes ve-
Airbrush or
yeah, it goes very poorly. My problem is that I understand what I want, which is why Greg hates painting my helmets. I understand what I want. I'm just not necessarily A, talented enough, and B, understand the process. So like I've got one that is my dirt helmet from years ago. I painted it like completely backwards, right? Like everything you would do, knowing what I know now, everything you would do, right? Just inverse that, and that's how I did
Okay.
it. Because I came from painting like RC bodies, where you paint everything from the inside,
Yep.
and you start with the lightest color, or excuse me, you start with the darkest color and go light. That's a little bit harder when you're starting with a dark color on a helmet, because painting light over dark doesn't really work that well, or it does, and it's just super thick, and then like it just doesn't last.
well, and
Our
when you
thing
paint
is-
RC bodies, you paint from the inside.
Yeah,
so
inside
you
out.
paint your
That's how he
your
does
first
it.
color. Your main color,
Yeah, it's
It's
backwards.
backwards of
He
what you do.
so like we paint it, we'll add tape, paint it, add tape, and then like at the end it's kind of like a Christmas present. You unwrap all these colors to see what you made. Like he can't
I can't do that.
see it, so he has to untape it every time and retape it. Like it's a giant
I have
process
too
when
much
he does it.
ADD
Yeah,
to be okay with just leaving a helmet taped up. I can't do that.
yeah.
I've
I gotta
always
untape it all.
said that this place should be called off-axis helmet taping because you do twice as much taping
Probably
than
more than
painting.
that. Ugh,
Probably
so
10
much
times.
taping.
People
That's-
don't realize the prep work that goes into
Ugh.
painting a helmet. Like, I really think that every driver that gets a custom helmet should have to paint one of their own just to go through the process
I
of
agree. That should be in the contract for next year.
it. All right. I'm in. But
know
I
you're
don't
in,
think
yeah.
all your other drivers are going to be okay with that.
Is
But I
it-
used to draw, like, so when I would draw stuff, my biggest challenge, honestly, was that I could draw in 2D. You know, like you're drawing flat on a piece of paper, right? And then when you go to transfer that from piece of paper to a 3D helmet that's shaped like a basketball,
It's much different.
it's much
challenging.
different. And stuff that looks good on paper doesn't always look good on
Yeah.
real life.
I try to
Ugh.
explain that to sponsors sometimes, and they
Well,
don't get it.
Well, everybody just has an idea in their head and they think that you should just understand that. This is how I want it to be. Well, we can't do that. Well, why not?
Correct.
I'm like, oh,
This is my daily life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's all right.
Do you think if you weren't a race car driver, you'd be wrapping cars or doing something like that?
I don't know. Like I'm kind of a glutton for punishment. So, I really want to wrap my car.
Your
Like
street
your-
car?
My street car.
Oh boy.
What
and I
kind
really-
of car is it?
A Cadillac. I really want to
What
do it
year?
myself though. 2016.
Oh man, I
What
saw
would
it
you
was like
wrap
an
it?
old Cadillac.
No, it's a Cadillac ATS-V.
And wrap it like a modified or what?
No, so there's this you know what Nardo gray is?
No.
It's like that flat gray.
I'm
Like a
looking it
primer
up
gray?
right now.
No, it's kind of like a bluish color gray.
Yeah.
But they make one that has like a metallic in it. That it's flat.
Okay, like that.
Yeah, like that color.
Oh yeah. That's basically a primer gray.
It's kind of like a primer
It's
gray.
Just a
that's a sweet
metallic.
color, dude.
It is cool. But
That's-
my
you
car
don't
is
see
red.
that every day.
My car is bright red. You don't see that every day
Your
either.
car's
yeah.
oh, okay.
Like a bright red Cadillac, like
Like a
Well, you
bright-
should just
like a
tape
bright
it. You
red.
could tape it off and then spray Nardo gray, and then you have a design when you pull the tape. You'd be like unwrapping a Christmas present, right?
Yeah. You could do that.
Put a design.
I really
on
want to do it. My wife says that I'm an idiot, which
She's not far off.
I know. But I just want to do it because I want to be able to do something. So growing up, I did all my own decals, designed, printed, cut, layered, wrapped, whatever you want to call it. I mean, like I started out with a plotter only and then went to a printer. So on the plotter, you know, if you wanted a 5-color number like everybody has, you cut a bigger outline and all different colors and you
Ugh.
waste a ton of material and you know,
Try to line it up.
try to line it up.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't miss that one bit.
I actually really miss that.
Who-
Surprisingly
Trying to
enough-
line everything up.
Yeah, I miss
Yeah.
that.
We were talking to somebody the other day about that.
We're talking to Jay Dugan.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, Jay.
Okay.
Because he been wrapping cars.
I actually was
Who's-
really good at it. That was the only thing I was probably really good at was being able to line stuff up and make it look right. Because, like, there's nothing worse than somebody printing a drop shadow, not realizing that it's a drop shadow, and then, like, trying to center it up in a drop shadow. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, my gosh, that looks
Yeah.
so bad.
I've done that.
Have you?
Yeah, my Bandolero back in the day when I was like a little kid.
The
But
Bando.
yeah, Jay Dugan was talking about it. A guy, he's from Jersey. He used to wrap cars at East Windsor.
Yep.
Way back in the 90s, and he was the first one to start wrapping cars there. And all the guys that handled their cars said, "This will never work. It'll never take off."
Ooh.
And I just think it's so funny with racing how many times people say that.
I will say, though, so the Northeast is by far. I say that.
Don't check up. Don't
No.
check up because I'm here. I get it.
No,
I
go
live
ahead.
it.
Like, no, sort of. I feel like a lot of really good artists
Let us know your
are
thoughts
from the
about
Northeast.
Jersey.
No, like if you look at it, right, in years past, they always had the big numbers. So like the phenomenon of big numbers has kind of always come from the Northeast. They've always had like bright colors, your fluorescents, your purples, your blues, like colors that maybe weren't necessary. Like red and black and white are kind of like the racing colors, right? Like that's always what the deal. Like, you go to the Northeast and it's like blue and yellow with fluorescent orange numbers.
Everything.
And purple, you know, like you're looking at it and it's just so different. You know, like California West Coast is a lot of black, flat black, black and green. Like that's the thing, you know. Which I think everywhere you go in the country has their own thing.
well, it's
so different
whatever,
than
whatever's
helmets.
cool is there, you know. Yeah.
Right. Like I don't wear skate shoes and tall socks and Dickie shorts, but like you go to a sprint
But
car
you
race.
should.
Why I
You have to
My
have
problem
an
is-
FK hat
No, I can't do FK because
Flat
we have
bill.
our own
FK,
chalk
Flat bills,
business, so I can't do
bro.
FK.
Well, you can't go to a sprint car race.
But I will say though, it's funny because Dickie shorts look like pants on me,
Yeah.
so I could never pull that style off.
Like a little
it would be
pants.
with crew socks on me, they're knee highs,
Yeah.
and then with Dickie shorts, they're like pants. So I just look
Look
like
like a
I'm,
baseball player.
I kind of that same concept. I could tuck the shorts into the socks and be
What?
okay with it.
So
That'd be a good
what
look.
does your dad do? Are they Hoosier tire dealer? What is exactly that? you
Yeah,
guys do
so
there?
so that has evolved rather rapidly, but so my dad's been in the tire business for like 47 years. So we're the Midwest distributor for Hoosier Racing Tires.
Before you.
Huh?
Before you were thought about.
Yeah, way before I was
A
thought about.
while.
He was a
'Cause you're
tool,
not 40 years old.
right?
Yeah.
He was
makes
a tool guy, so he was a Mac tool man. He was a candy and cigar salesman for a little while.
Really?
Like
It's a
he was
little bit
gas
of everything.
station attendant. Like when you like my dad was a professional speed skater. Like that's pretty
What?
cool.
Must have strong hips.
Well, he shattered his ankle.
Oh gosh.
His foot stuck through the wall, and it like shattered.
He's
it.
got a
Anyways,
low center of gravity too, so
He
I could
does.
I could see that.
Anyway, so long story short, so he's been around racing, and he used to race himself. Started in the tire business. Been lucky enough to do that for a long time, and then that's kind of evolved into he was doing parts originally. Then he got out of it. Now he's back into parts. So we do parts, we do shocks. We have Allgaier Motorsports Racing shocks,
All out of the same building.
all out of the same building.
But your bread and butter is still dealing Hoosier tires.
Yes.
So at the racetrack,
No.
or is it more like a Hoosier
So-
Tire Mid Atlantic, a Hoosier Tire
Yeah,
East?
so that's basically what we're Hoosier Tire Midwest. So we basically service the dealers or
Okay.
the guys that are going to the racetrack each and every week, which for us is interesting because we deal with a lot of racers. But on the flip side of it, our job is to make sure that our dealers, because at the end of the day, I don't care who you are. There's no way that one company could service every racetrack in an area, whether you're on a tire deal, you're not on a tire deal, whether it's parts, it doesn't matter. There's no way that the infrastructure would ever work. So for us, it's all about the dealers because we know that each racetrack has their own dealers. So we want to help our dealers be able to do
There's
that.
so many different types of tires,
Oh,
different compounds, different sizes.
Dirt stuff
It's
is
crazy. Man,
dude, I'm
it's
telling you,
nice.
I can't even begin to describe to you how difficult it is to keep up with everything. Like, I do like, I try to keep in the loop as much as I can. I'm on a lot of the emails, and I deal with Hoosier. I go to Hoosier every year and deal with
It's Irish.
meetings.
Irish.
Irish still up there, yeah.
He's badass.
He is a good. His kid actually is really cool. His kid Eric.
Yeah, he's paralyzed,
He's
right?
paralyzed. He got paralyzed in a motocross accident years and years ago. He actually just signed on, and the Tyloo Honda Supercross team, he's actually running the team and managing the team.
Oh dang.
So which is really cool.
He was
'Cause
running sprint cars for a little while too, wasn't he?
still does. Yep.
He still does.
He's doing
runs
both.
good.
Yeah. So he has hand controls and a sprint
Yeah.
car. It's pretty awesome. They run up at Plymouth Speedway, and any of the tracks that are around there that kind of have adopted the same rules that they have. So it's pretty awesome.
Man, there's some cool racers and cool things they run out there in the Midwest.
Dude, there's everything.
Everyone's from the Midwest is cool.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Especially Illinois, not so much Missouri. I mean,
Missouri's pretty cool.
you just I've always wondered why do they call it the Show Me State?
I mean.
Yeah, 'cause you ain't shown me nothing. Nothing good,
ooh.
at least.
I don't know why we call it the Show Me State. How's that, Pepsi?
It's
'Cause
really
everybody
good.
calls here and
Pepsi
says,
Zero.
"Show me my helmet. When will it be done?
Yeah, that's how
I
it
want to
is
see the progress."
every day.
Yep.
Oof,
What are you doing? A podcast today? Yeah. Sorry.
that's all right. You're building a
It
brand.
is weird though, videoing a podcast.
It is.
It always
yeah.
like
We didn't have this before. Now we're with MRN big time.
I know.
Daryl and Donald.
They have included video into this.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
I
So
like
if you
it
want
a
to
lot.
watch on your YouTubes while you're at work, you can do it now.
What
Speaking
are you
of the
thinking present day here? How's your team looking this year? How you feeling?
yeah,
2 podium finishes.
2 podiums,
rough.
2 races. You know the worst part of all of this?
Being second. Skip knows a lot about that. He runs
Yeah,
second a lot.
Second sucks.
I won
Yeah.
50% of my races this year. I don't know if you know any other drivers that did.
You run 3 races.
Hey, you know what?
4.
You did good.
50,
I'll give you that one.
50%. That's what's
I'll
up.
give you that one.
It's not a big deal. I mean, 500. That get me in the Hall of Fame for baseball. No big deal.
True.
So,
Second sucks though. Like I
second
mean,
sucks bad.
like I
But
don't
it
want to
pays better.
sound.
Pays better than third.
It does pay better than third, and I don't want to. Like I don't ever. Look, at the end of the day, I'm blessed to do what I love to do, and I love racing, and I would be racing something somewhere, even if it's shopping carts at the local shopping mall. Like, I'm going to race something somewhere. But when you are that close and you know you're that close, it's like Daytona was the worst, right?
Yeah.
Because you're watching a teammate that's getting his first win. So obviously you want to be excited, right? He's getting his first win. Like, that's a cool moment. I remember mine vividly. Like, I remember every detail of the day of my very first Xfinity Series win. So, like, I was happy for him, but here I am for like the last 5 laps of the race trying to figure out how to generate enough of a run to be able to pass him, and I can't do it. Like, I backed up, and every time I would back away, Brandon Jones, it would pull him away from me, and then I think Sieg was behind Brandon Jones. It would pull Ryan away from him, and like we never did anything. Like, the more of a run we got, the more we just pushed Michael out in front. So then I'm pumped that we finished second, because normally I crash at Daytona in
Yeah,
the
you
spring.
didn't come out with a wrecked race car, so that's good.
So I'm like, hey, that's a win. But then I'm like, man, we finished second.
Yeah.
Like, second's still the first loser.
Speedway races.
So then we go to Atlanta, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna be better.
We got this.
Got this. And we were good. We weren't great. I mean, Seabell had everybody covered. But then I did what I thought was the right move on the last restart, and it cost me second. So,
But you said, I did listen to one of your interviews, and you said if, yeah, you could have got second, but you get paid to try to win races. And so you did what you had to do.
I did. I
try
did.
to
I did
win
what
the
I thought
race.
was right in the moment.
You could have ran second very easily, just like, Daytona, and stayed in line and probably been fine, but...
Yeah, my wife was convinced that I didn't even try at Daytona to pass Michael. So I just wanted to prove to my wife that I was
Yeah,
trying to,
good.
Well, it's crazy because people don't understand how you get runs at Daytona and how you have to time everything and how technical it is there when you're trying to pass, especially when you're in a straight line. So they just say, "Oh, everybody just drove around."
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is
so they're just
amazing.
riding
Like,
around.
my Twitter blew up. People were so mad at me because that they thought that I intentionally didn't try to make a run to let my teammate win, and I said, there's a lot of things in life. Like, really, honestly, it's hard getting beat by a teammate,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think sometimes it's harder to get beat by a teammate than it is to get beat by another competitor, because then you're like, man, like, they have the same stuff I do,
Yeah.
and that hurts.
Straight
right?
out of the same shop.
Right, that hurts. But on the flip side, like I told my wife, I said Michael qualified third, we qualified 15th, right? So obviously, whatever was different, whether that's just even as much as, and I know this is gonna sound really crazy, but even as much as like just the way the decals are placed, if the wind is blowing the right way on the right day, can make a difference of a little bit. Now, it's not a lot, but like it can be that little bit, right? And really, once he got out front, I couldn't do anything. And to be honest, if it was the other way around, it was probably going to be the same way. Whoever was out front on that last run was probably going to win the race. So it's like, you're trying to generate those runs, you're trying to do all those things, and you can't do it. You get so frustrated in the car trying. Like, I literally thought I was going to push my foot through the floorboard.
Oh, that's
I
rough.
love the race fan though. I love it. They're
Yeah.
just rode around. Everybody's just riding around here. They
Yeah.
just don't want to pass.
200 miles per hour. We're just riding.
What'd you think of the Cup race this week?
He
I'll
loved it.
start with this.
He loved it.
The initial green flag
The
was
Chevrolets
pretty-
ran great.
was pretty
That's what he's about to
badass.
say.
It was pretty awesome. So here's my deal. I don't like going slow. So I have I've been a little bit of a non-proponent of this package. But on the flip side of that, I have to eat my words a little bit because it did do things that I did not expect it to do.
And that wasn't the full package for this.
Right, that wasn't a full package. So I actually am really excited about Vegas. I'm excited to see what it looks like. They went way faster through the corners than I thought they were going to based on last year's package. And that's where I think I didn't do a very good job of keeping an open mind when they changed the package, right? Because I don't know,
You're old school. Don't like change.
Well,
I
it's
don't
hard
like
to be
change.
objective
Yeah.
when you're a competitor. It's hard to be objective when you have skin in the game because you don't take yourself fully out of it.
right.
But I think what was great about it is if you made a mistake, it hurt you tenfold.
I agree.
So, and I think this week will be even more if you say you drive in a little deeper, miss the bottom, and you lose momentum. You might lose 5 spots, depending on how people are lined up. So, I think
It's going to be crazy.
yeah, I think
I
there
really
needs to be a
think
lot
so.
on the line.
And my big thing is this. We've seen some guys have runs that they have exceeded expectation. For sure, Whether you look at the 95, you look at the 47, 37, you look at the 8. There's guys that have run really well that have exceeded expectation, which is awesome because we as the sport evolves, right? My big thing is, and I always say this, and again, being a competitor, you tend to not be able to remove yourself. But I always say, I don't care what the car is, as long as it puts on a good race for the fans, right? Because
Yep.
at the end of the day, as long as the fans are coming, that's what's important. And then you get caught up, and you're like, well, this isn't going to benefit my driving style, so I don't like it, right?
Yeah.
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 And it doesn't. I grew up racing dirt, so I like big power and low grip.
Yeah.
Like that's just who I am. That's what I like. But what I saw on Sunday, the Cup race was really good. There was a couple sections that got a little bit spread out, but look, when you talk about 500 miles,
You're gonna
you
have
know how
that.
hard that is to not have that.
You have to
Right.
log laps.
Yeah,
You have to log
You
laps.
have to. You have
The
to.
good thing, the real good thing that I noticed, and I don't know if either of you were there for it, is that it is quite a bit quieter now, so you can actually talk. And that was one. I don't. Doesn't make difference to me, but for the fans,
You
that's
are a
one big
Chatty
thing that the
Cathy
fans.
at the
Well,
shop track.
was it last year, 2 years ago? They actually tested some stuff to make the cars quieter, just to see. And I know that our fans don't necessarily want that,
No.
but when you're looking at new fans, right? So like whether it's NASCAR or it's dirt track racing, it doesn't matter. Or short track racing, I should say in general, asphalt or dirt. There's a few factors that really play into it. Number one is cell phone service.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, right? I
Yeah.
mean, at the end of the day,
Nowadays.
that's one of the biggest things. Everybody wants to have connectivity, which is great. I mean, to a sound, is it too loud? Can I bring my kid? Do they need earphones? Like, what if you don't pack earphones for your kid? Are they
Yeah,
gonna be
but
miserable?
I love going down to the fence and feeling the cars.
Well, they're saying that you can still
Rocket
feel it.
Past. No, I want the sound, everything, and I don't want cell phone service because I want to enjoy the race and not be on.
Well, not everybody's a
Instagram.
vampire.
Well, so you
vampire.
are the exception of the rule, for the record.
Guess.
And then furthermore, I think that it comes down to the experience. Is it clean? Is it not necessarily even from like a bathroom standpoint? Is it clean? But like, do you get dirty? Like, right? You go to the dirt track. Is there dust everywhere? Do you get dirty?
Yeah, but I don't know. That's racing, man.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're having a tough time removing yourself from the equation.
I just
Yeah.
no.
Be
I
objective.
I'm not.
I'll say this: for 4.5 hours, if you're sitting there and you can't talk to the person next to you for 4.5
Or
hours,
play PUBG.
it gets a little bit obnoxious. But now you're not you are it's not quiet enough where you're just talking like this.
I do like that
but
part.
you can communicate where before you could not communicate.
I do like that part about going to Daytona. It's like the one track you don't have to wear ear molds the whole time, and you can
It was like that at Atlanta this week.
can talk to people. And it's
The
kinda
problem
nice.
is like Bristol and Martinsville are still open motor.
And Dover, yeah, and Dover is gonna be loud.
Yeah,
but-
people don't realize that.
Martinsville's just it's so loud there because they're geared.
Yeah, but it sounds so good.
Yeah,
It is.
I agree. But when you leave there, it's like Goody's headache powder is the best sponsor for that race because your
I take the
ears are
shot.
ringing.
I don't do the powder. I do the shot.
Oh,
They
Take
make a
what?
a-
Oh, like a drink?
goodies
Oh, yeah,
shot.
like a shot. I was like, you're
No,
giving
like
yourself a shot?
goodies. Goodies has like a little
shot,
like
shot.
Yeah, like a
shots.
5-hour energy type
Yeah.
bottle.
yeah.
Yep.
it's
Huh.
amazing.
I've never tried that.
I'll get you some. We got some at our
Alright.
shop. I'll get you some.
He'll
Okay.
get you hooked up. He's got a dealer.
I get a brake dust leaving Martinsville, or I get a headache from brake dust when I leave Martinsville.
Yeah, that I didn't think about that. That is true.
That's-
Lots of brake dust.
Yeah, so I think that's healthy.
It's probably
Hey, so at Martinsville,
your
like on the
helmet.
rear,
I'm on the
would
front.
no, I know that, but on the rear, would it be as much brake dust on the rear as you would on a mile and a half
No.
on the front?
No. No.
No, still not.
I mean, sometimes it used to be at a mile and a half, like Atlanta.
Used
When
to
I was
be.
with Newman,
Yeah.
the brakes would be on fire when you came in.
Yeah.
You know, and it just depends. You know, lately, tracks like Loudon and Richmond have had the most brake dust. For
he
us.
likes it when it's like that because he can kind of like rub some on his face. So it looks like he's working way harder.
You do the Cole Trickle,
Yeah,
Cole Trickle from
he
Days of
likes
Oh,
Thunder.
He likes that look.
I never understood if you watch those movies like back in the day, those guys got out of the car and they look like they had been through the
Yeah.
war, and you're like, what
Yeah.
is wrong with that?
I don't know though. If you put yourself in that situation, if in those cars with Kirky seats with 90-degree headrests, trying to hold your head up for 500 miles.
Headrests. I mean, the headrests weren't introduced until like the
They
late
did-
90s.
Yeah.
They didn't even have them back in the day.
So you try.
Hey, so this is no lie. No lie. I sat in one of Richard Petty's cars, and it had like I'm going to call it a piece of 2x4 is really what I think it was. But it
Yeah.
was a bench seat with like a 2x4 bolted into the framework.
Yeah.
And then they told me that Richard used to have this thing that had like an eyelet.
Oh boy.
Oh, I got a timer.
That means we need to watch a video, but keep going.
Okay, they
It's
had
fine.
like a an eyelet screwed in the top of his helmet with a string on it that went over and down on the A post, and it had little like clicks, and he could just take it and how much tension he wanted on his head to hold his head up,
Ooh, I
and
like
he would
that.
just pull it over and like pull it into a slot and like let it go.
Might need that now.
Yeah, because
That would be
helmet
amazing.
paint's so
Me
heavy.
too. Yeah.
You could just have the string to hold you up. That's
It
smart.
would be awesome. All right, so let's watch a
What do you,
video.
what do you got
Okay.
here, Greg?
Let's watch them. Through the visor, darkly. Let's throw a graphic up while we get it ready. Are you ready for this?
Can't wait.
All right, there we go. Video number 1.
Video number 1.
It
Okay.
is a
What are we just commenting on this video?
it is a yellow car coming down the road. Yeah, we'll just
This seems like a decent neighborhood.
drifting.
No, he's spinning.
Oh,
What was that?
Jumped
So
in.
so I feel like that's a lot like, remember when you used to have the little all-wheel drive RC cars and you would spin them out
Yeah, that's
and
what
then
it
you would
is.
just like accelerate
It's like
and
the same body style too.
it is.
Just an all-wheel drive.
Our
one?
man.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
Oh,
all-wheel
yeah,
drive.
no
Look at
doubt.
look at the
Look
right
at
front
that.
tire off the ground.
Oh,
That's not what I was thinking here, trying to turn around.
So I think if I was to guess, he probably didn't realize that it was all-wheel drive or didn't take that in consideration and it
I just want to know how they got it out.
Yeah,
That
there was
not-
no one.
record.
That was
There's
not. Yeah, but
there's
it was
no
not
one
fun to
around in
get
that
it out.
neighborhood either. Usually people are like
Hey.
lined up.
I don't even know this or not, but there was somebody filming it.
That's true. He's not gonna
That's a
come
good
down.
point.
If I was filming that, oh, we got more rally car.
These rally cars
Okay,
are gnarly.
video number 2. Dude, the gnarliest
Hey.
thing is these people that are riding along shotgun in this thing.
The best part is that they're like, 4 left turn,
Yeah,
5 right turn,
head down on
Yeah.
the map the whole time.
and they know exactly where they're at all times.
Ugh,
That is
couldn't
impressive.
pay me enough to do that. All right, here we go. Same thing's about to happen.
Yo.
Plenty of people. Oh no,
Oh, that's a poorly timed pole. Oh,
dude.
Okay, so that is
gosh.
a electricity pole, and these guys are just putting it back
wait, they're
up.
holding it back up. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
oh my
holding it
gosh.
up. Live
That's
electricity.
So dangerous. Look at this guy's like slow down in the red
Hey,
jacket.
I mean,
over
the
there.
race isn't gonna stop. That's crazy.
So did you also notice that right here, pause.
There you go.
So right here, there's a GoPro
Yeah.
filming all of this. If only they would have put the GoPro in the right direction, and they could film
Oh yeah.
what's about to happen
Well, thankfully this guy got it
on camera.
on camera.
And these people, like, you talk about rally racing. The people that watch from the side of
the
the road
craziest.
are crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Some of those ones where they're like going through the woods and they're just on.
Both sides of the road.
Yeah, like there's nowhere to go. Like there's a field there. It's not terrible, but like,
What are you going to do, run?
yeah, dude.
Yeah, where you got your SOL at that point.
All right,
Yeah.
clip number 3. It's coming up. Oh,
Oh,
night in the snow.
Ooh.
I don't even know how you do this.
I don't either.
Oh.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, that's like a street car.
Holy mackerel.
That guy's just trying to get home from the grocery store.
I mean, I always
Oh.
assume that when you have these like street rally races that they shut the road down.
Dude,
But I guess not.
I don't. Maybe this is like street rally. Dude,
I would love. Oh man, if it was only daytime and you could see where the driver went to.
I know.
Like in the.
Like his reaction.
Well,
Oh,
and then you're
that's
out
impressive.
there, right? I wonder what happens when you wreck like that, and then you're out there. Do you have a radio? Do you radio back to your team?
There's 10 foot of snow
I
around
would say
you.
yes, but
There's
here,
nowhere to go.
how do you get that off the road? I mean, the snow was piled up on both sides of the
Yeah,
road.
you
The
don't-
next car that comes through is gonna wreck.
Helicopter comes and gets him.
Oh, Dodge Viper. Oh,
Right,
come
that's
on.
That's a
Oh,
Nuremberg.
Oh, no helmets either. Yeah.
That
Oh,
kid,
it's gone that.
that kid definitely slapped his head off the
Window
the window.
there.
Because they got the windows up. I'm impressed the window didn't break. This Nürburgring.
Oh
Oh.
my gosh.
Oh. Junk the race.
That's so sad. I have a silver Viper.
You have
Just
one?
yeah, but not that year. I have an old one.
You should fly to Germany and
No, I'm good.
Run
So
around the-
so the story on the car is real quick. My very first sponsor when I was 5 years old passed away the year that I won the ARCA championship, and his son gave the car to me out of his dad's
Oh,
car
that's
collection.
awesome.
So it doesn't ever get driven. It's literally like 2 miles from
I've
me right
rode
here.
it in at one time. And
Yeah.
I don't think it started the rest of the time. It's always
I started.
batteries are dead.
No,
or-
I got battery tender on it. It's ready to go
You
now.
gotta drive it like once a month to keep everything fresh.
I told him I would do that.
I
for
should.
him.
My problem is keeping it inspected.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that'd be tough.
Because
Yeah.
every time I want to go drive it, it's not. The
You're
plates
only, you're
are.
only driving it a couple
It's all right.
times, so.
My truck's not legal right now. You're right.
You're after it. All right.
Okay, so this is like autocross maybe?
Maybe. I like the tires. This looks like someone we would set up in the parking lot here.
Oh, come on.
Oh, did you? Oh, that got worse really fast.
Oh,
So that's
man.
definitely a front-wheel drive
Did
car.
you see as the car's coming?
You're like, oh, this is gonna end badly,
The
right?
right rear is off the ground. It's
The second hop is the best part. When it hops and the rear end just completely
the
comes
muffler
up.
the,
and
the
took
exhaust
everything
even
out of it.
came off on that. That's rough.
Whatever
Alright.
make and model that car is, I'm not getting it ever.
Why not?
'Cause
Well,
the
I mean,
rear
it's
just
not the
fell out
car's
of it.
fault.
I like how
I mean, you ripped the subframe out of the car.
the rear end went through the grass. Like it traveled pretty far. It's still going.
That's low CG, by the way, too, just for the record.
Yeah.
I feel like, though,
That's no
the,
CG because it's
the-
not moving.
the tire slalom right there was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I like that. We should build one like that.
You ever driven a front wheel drive, like race car?
I drove like a 4-cylinder once. It's very aggravating.
Yeah, because they have a lot of torque steer. They
Yeah.
want to straighten up. Yeah.
We used to take my buddy's front wheel Honda and go out to a cul-de-sac, put Taco Bell trays under the back tires, lock the e-brake in, and then it's just like a tilt-a-whirl until you burn through the trays and you just.
So what you're
So
saying is you're admitting that you were a thief.
Oh yeah,
And
well, yeah,
you
we
stole
got
from
we got
Taco Bell.
pulled over. It was almost a bad deal for a while, and I think the cop like knew we were doing it, you know, and they were like, did you guys do this? And we're like, no, that wasn't us. And then he popped my buddy's trunk, and there was like 10 Taco Bell trays in there. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, we did it. So it was us. Sorry.
Kids, do not lie to the police officers.
Yeah.
That's
so,
the real answer. You got any more?
No, that's it. That's all 5.
That's all we
fine.
got.
That's it. That's
We're all done.
That's all Daryl gave us today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like
You were really getting into that?
I was. Yeah.
Sorry.
You built me up and let me down.
Just make sure that you never make that list.
I did make that
Dude.
list. If you look at the number one pit stop fails of NASCAR, I think usually I'm number one.
I think we were
Are
the
you?
number 1 pit stop fail of this week.
Were you?
Well, I don't know. We weren't BJ McLeod, but we were right in the middle of that scrum.
Hey, so how about that? Okay, so we got to discuss that real quick.
Oh boy.
So you guys as pit crew members, right? So I hit my Jackman at Indy last year, at like 60 miles an hour. It was really bad.
Did you miss your box?
Well, Paul Menard hit me as I was turning in, and so I was gonna just not turn in, but like
He
as
already
a
They're already running
Jackman,
out.
his job is to get to the right side, so he was digging, and I knew that if he kept running, he was gonna run right into traffic, right?
Well, Indy's so narrow.
And
too.
Indy is very narrow, so I turned in. I thought I could miss him, and I did not. He
Rough.
went up, and his helmet actually indented the A post right at the top corner of
That's
the
the
windshield.
kid from the 48 with tattoos.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And Kyle is all of you guys. You're insanely athletic, right?
I don't
But
know if all of us are. I don't
you all
believe
are.
I am. I mean, there's.
Listen, I watch what you guys do. You're insanely athletic, but you're also a little bit crazy to do what you do. And so I learned that even more so that day. But that being said, so that all happens, right? And he's mad because they needed to do an exam before they would let him pit again. So go to this weekend, and I'm terrible with names, so I can't think of the kid's name. They got hit, but he's part of the Hendrick development team. He's on the 37.
This
I believe.
week?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when BJ got spun into the pits,
Yeah.
which is really weird because the 47 hit the 52 that wrecked the 37 pit box. So
Dude, it was right in front of us.
so yeah, but the guy gets hit, right? And he's like, I'm gonna walk it off. And he's walking up and down pit road. I'm gonna walk it off. He broke his tibia,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
No, fibia. The
One
back
of
one,
them.
the
either
big
one.
one,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
main
there's-
one.
There's 2 down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the main one, the
Oh.
fibia.
Oh.
And it's just like, I'm gonna walk it off. And they're like, no, you got to go to the care center. And then, oh, we got to transport you. Oh, we're gonna have to do.
Oh.
And I'm like, man, that is a beast right there. When you break the main bone in your leg, and I'm just gonna walk it off.
I'm just gonna
That's-
keep pitting.
Well, here's what's crazy about this year, and it's going to be crazier this year.
Take some
and
Toms, you'll be fine.
We'll end with this because we're coming down, but with more cars being on the lead lap, making the racing closer, now it makes every race almost like a speedway race where there's 30 cars on the lead lap.
Turning
So,
into the pit stalls this week, I'm watching on TV going, I do not envy these
the
guys at
sketchiest
all.
it's ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because most of the times, just take Daytona and Talladega. Pit stalls are big. You got room. Now you're going to go everywhere, and 30 cars are going to be on the lead lap. It's going to be a
I don't
Trying to
think
challenge.
think about
what
that.
mile and a half has really small boxes. There's
Kansas.
Is it
no,
Kansas?
Chicago.
Chicago. That's right. That's right. So I mean, you're talking about boxes that are
Narrow.
very, very narrow, and you're gonna get how many cars? The one stop, Joey, the right rear tire was like out, which is legal. I
Yeah.
mean, you can have the right rear tire is the only one I think that can be out, but you have to have 3 tires in the box as long as the right rear. Anyways, he's like out and that was normal. I mean, that was the only way he could get into his box. You know,
Yeah.
because the car behind you was out, because the car behind him was out. Like, you know, you
You'll
just
see a bunch
absolutely
more of that.
crazy, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
You'll see a bunch more of that. So
Cole actually hit somebody in our race. Cole hit no. Who hit somebody?
Are you making things up?
Somebody hit somebody.
in closing, this is what I'll say:
Go ahead.
don't hit aim picker, guys.
I do my best not to.
Please don't.
I'll tell you this.
And if you're
was-
gonna hit me, hit me.
no,
Don't
Let me go home.
half-ass it. Yeah, I don't want to just get up and finish the stop. Like, let's go, motor me so I
I
can
will
be
say
done for a
this:
little bit.
when I hit Kyle last year, that's probably the worst feeling that I've ever felt in my entire life.
It's hard to finish the rest of the race, I'm sure, because you're just
Oh,
thinking about.
like the rest of my race went completely haywire because of that.
Yeah, that sucks.
And like listen, you know what? I know there's guys that get mad and they think that pit crews are trying to keep them in their pit stall and they'll aim for them and do stuff like that. There's games that go on.
Kevin Harvick, he has no respect for human life. I know that. I'll say that right now.
I don't know that for sure, but I have seen it happen
Yeah.
with guys that are and I can't. There's no place for me in that. I wouldn't ever nor
Trevor Bayne,
Trevor was aiming for people.
no respect for human life. Zero.
I don't want to know all this stuff, man. I don't want to know these
I'm
guys
in the
are doing.
trenches there. I'll just call him right out. That's fine.
But on the flip side of it too, like I think it's good for fans to know that there's stuff that goes on pit road that you don't see.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's so much to it. Well,
I don't know that we talked about anything of what you wanted to talk about today, but hey,
We have no
That's
no
all right.
plan.
that's it.
There's no outline on this show,
well,
which is
I've only
great.
wanted to be on your podcast for like 10 years now.
Was
Yeah,
that like
That's a
the,
good point he brings up.
What?
Everybody's got podcasts now.
I know. That's what I was
We
gonna
were
talk
here
about that
before
too.
Glass Case for Motion. Corey, I went to WWE with Corey last night. They said, "Oh, you guys are trying to do the same thing?" I
Like,
said,
no, this is our third season,
No.
man. This is not
So
new to us.
write that down.
We will. There is a lot of NASCAR podcasts now. That's why we just didn't have a. We don't need an outline. We just talk about whatever.
Yeah.
I learned stuff about you. I thought we were pretty good friends. I didn't know the stuff about your dad. I didn't know your middle name.
People know Justin Allgaier.
I learned things
Justin
today.
Merle
So
Allgaier a little bit better now.
Yeah.
It's
Alright.
it's
Complete.
weird though because it's not like Merle Haggard. It's not Merle. It's Myrl.
Merle. It's like Merle
So
from Walking
people
Dead.
call me
Merle.
Myrl, and I'm like, no, it's Merle.
It's very Midwest. All right.
It is very Midwest.
Good luck in Vegas this weekend.
Thank you.
Sorry, I will not be there to
It's okay.
partake in the.
I'll hold the fort down for you.
Yeah, the roulette, the wheels.
No roulette.
I'm
Blackjack.
terrible.
Blackjack only.
I went to Atlantic City and I did not do well. Blackjack.
See, but
So
I will
fun.
say this for what it's worth, Skip. My man can't ever go to the races. He's we're so busy, I can't travel. And then he's like posting photos of you racing in Atlantic City. So
he
for the
comes there and
record,
sleeps the
I
whole
had-
time, and then he gets.
It
then
is
he comes
like
shows
a.
up for the.
It is a sleep break for me. It's like a half deal. All right.
All right, we're
Good
out.
luck this week.
Go
Thank
get
you
him.
for coming in.
thank you guys.